Hello, welcome to the Tabs and Icons video series. In today's video, we're going to look at how to create a scrollable bar chart for range reporting. My name is Dankaro Izuzu and I'm your anchor. Now, let's look at the data we're going to use. Now, we have this data reporting sales for 20 weeks. Now, you will agree if I have to plot the whole of this in a single chart, the chart is going to be so tiny and difficult to read. So when you have data like this, the best approach is to create it using a scrollable range data chart so that you can display a specific range for any particular scroll. So if I want the first 5, I'll display week 1 to 5. I move display week 2 to 6, week 3 to 7. So at every point, I'm displaying 5 weeks for view. So what do? I first have to use my developer tab. Now, if you don't have a developer tab on your ribbon, right click on any of the tabs and you will see customize the ribbon. Click on customize the ribbon. On the right side, you will see main tab. It should be there by default. If it's not there, please select main tab and scroll down till you see developer. Click on developer and select OK. Now, the moment you do that, you have your developer already displayed on your ribbon. So now that we have our developer displayed, we can start. First, I want to highlight maybe 5 because I want to say 5 to be displayed at a particular time. Let me place it here. Now that I have this, I can actually take out the whole of this one now. Okay. So the next thing is I'm going to create my scrollable bar. I go to my developer and in the controls group, I'll see insert. Click on insert and move straight to scroll bar fonts control. Now you have your scroll bar fonts control. You can actually put it vertically or horizontally. I choose to have it this way. So I'm going to release it. Now, you can see I have my scroll bar. It can move to any side until it gets to the end. It can also move to this way until it gets to the end. So I'm going to assign this to a particular cell so that if I click, I can easily see the movement from there. So I come here, now it takes me to this. I have the size reproduction property. Let's be bothered about the controls. Now, I'm going to have this, of course, you should have a value here, which will also move anyway. The minimum number that I will have on this will be 1. I don't want to be an empty. Now I have a maximum of about 100, but for here I have 20, and if I'm displaying 5, which means the maximum I should have here will be 16, because if you have 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 will be 5. On each click, I want to be incremented by 1. That means each of my pages will be increased by 1. Now, where am I linking this to? I want to link it to any cell. Let me click cell A1 so that if I click my scroll bar, I will see the movement there. Now you can see I have 1 here. Let me just paint this a little bit. If you watch my video and I like using colors to in particular, so I have 1 there. Now if you notice that if I move this, I have 2, I have 3, it will continue moving until I get to 16. Now when you get to 16, it stops because 16 plus 5 is 20. So I can move backward and I get this. Now let me go to my week. I'm going to create a dynamic week range there, so that if I move here, a week 1 should change to week 2, and I'm going to use the index function to do that. So we know how the index function works. It is a lookup and reference function. So the first is asking me is the array, which is my data range. I select the whole of this. I'm going to hold that fixed, and I take my comma. The next is going to ask me which is my row number. Now I'm going to start from this row, which I select here, which is the control point for my scroll bar. I'm going to hold that fixed. So I've selected a row, but it's not going to be only 1 row. I'm going to add series of other rows to make it up to 5. So where am I adding those rows? I'm going to use the rows function so that it can be dynamic. And I'm going to say if I select this particular row, is to be up to a particular level, which is going to be 5 or 4 or 6 as the case might be. Here I've selected 5. With me, that first part is going to be fixed. I'm going to fix that first one so that it doesn't move. So the first part of it, we know when you hold your cell range fixed this way, it means you are saying from the first part it will be incrementing without that first part of it So the second part is relative, so I'm okay with that. Now, if I do this and I take enter, I'm just going to get only the week side, but I need to subtract 1 so that at every point the week will not be the ending of that particular value. So I subtract 1 there. And I take my comma. It's asking me for column. Which columns should it be? And I'm saying add. Let me use the columns function the same way I have used the row function. So I'm using the same range for my column. I have this and I'm taking it up to this, but this first one should also be fixed. So I fix this one. And that's all I need to do. I close my bracket and I hit my enter key. So it's telling me because I am on 1, the first week is 1. So what happens if I move this? I'll get my first week to be 2. If I move this, I'll get week 3 down to the end. So I have week 1. Now I'm going to copy this week 1 down to, we said 5, down to week 5. And I copied this so I can get the figures attached to it. So these are my figures. These are the week. This one is not okay, so let me reduce this. So I have this. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do, having done this, your job is done, is to create your chart. I want a column chart, so I'm going to say Alt F1. This is now a better chart than the one we saw earlier. So this is my chart. I'm going to now move this, my scroll bar, under this chart. I'll place such a way that it will be the same thing. Okay. And I'll place it there. So I have my chart. Now I also want my chart to have a title. Now I have week 1 to 5. When I move here, it's giving me week 2, week 3, week 4. You can see how it's moving. So my chart should also fairly show what I'm doing. Okay, so I move this back and I'm going to create a title so that each time I move this chart, I want my title to say sales performance for week 1 to blah blah blah, the case might be. So I'm going to come here and use a concatenate function. We know how the concatenate function works from our foundation Excel. Concatenate sales performance for, so I would need to create a space there. So the next one, I will select the week. Where is my week now? Okay. Or am I writing? Okay. I will need to select the week for week 1. I take a comma. Let me put another space. And I say 2. I guess that from left, right? Yeah, 2. I want a space again to the last one. I hope this will work. Let me hit my enter key and let me say, okay. Okay, great. So I'm saying that this is going to be the title of my chart at every point in time. Let me put that my every point in time. Sales performance for week 1 to 5. So if I shift again, it's going to be sales performance for another week. So let me go to my title and I click that and I hit my enter key. Great. So I can do this, make it a bit bigger. Let's look at what we have. Sales performance for week 1 to week 5. Now, let's look at how the title will be if I shift this a little bit. Okay, sales performance week 3 to this. Okay, all right, fine. So this is my chart now. This is my scrollable chart. Having done this, my work is done. All I need to do is to be shifting this as is. Let me add this. Okay. Now I can group this. I can move them together. Let me group this. At the moment I group this, I can move this together. So this becomes my scrollable bar. Each time I'm working, I come here, I just click this and I say this. I click this and I say this. But I think the average, I want to use a different setting for the average. So I select the average. Let me select the average. And I'm going to use a different setting. I want to change the time series for the average. Now if I move here, I'll see average. I want that average to be a line chart. Okay, so this is what I want for the average. before I go back to my design. Okay, let me stay here. I can take it to be bigger. So this is my average. I can make the weight to be more. Did I select the average? Okay, no. Okay, now I have selected this. So each time I am moving, that's my average. It's moving along. Each time I'm moving, that's my average. So I move down this way, I get this. I move down this way, I get this. This is how to create the scrollable bar. So you don't have any problem when you have a lot of data and you need to actually create a chart that really mirrors the performance of what you are looking for. Thank you very much for listening to this training. In other videos, we're going to see much more of what Excel can do. Bye-bye.